It's time for Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting, and it's sponsored by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia, Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton. Now let's see what's happening in our community with host Tony Doc Wardlaw.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, the Doc, and we are here on, yes, it is another beautiful Wednesday morning, as usual. And I'm glad to have you with us on today. We always try to bring you the best that we have to offer in our community. And as we did on last week, we had what I would call an unsung hero, one of those persons who are working behind the scenes, as we had on last week, none other than Miss Seneca Underwood. Well, this week we're coming back with yet another one of those persons who are working behind the scenes to help make our community what it is. And we have in the studio with us none other than the debonair himself, the illustrious Mr. Jarrell Craig. How you doing this morning, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, Mr. Tony. Thank you for having me on. It's a blessing and a privilege to be able to have this opportunity. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Now, I know a lot of people are probably wondering, Jarrell Craig, sounds like a person with two first names.
A little bit, yes, sir. Yep, I get that a bunch.
Well, for those of you who do not know him, he is the new appointed and I guess elected. Are y'all
Yes, sir,
elected?
yeah.
Or?
Oh, we're elected. Yes, sir. We had an election last month.
And so he's the new president of the Community Men in Action.
Yes, sir.
Which is a service organization here in our community. Can you just tell our listeners a little bit about the Community Men in Action and what your mission and the vision for the organization is?
Yes, sir. So, Community Men in Action, we are based here in Toombs County and serving the surrounding counties also. Just looking, our mission, seeing and serving the need, where we do what we can as far as from helping with school events, back to school fundraisers. We also do informative events, and then we also do food drives, closed food drives, and things like that. Just seeing where we can fit in to serve the community as best we can and helping those in need that need our help.
Wow. And like I said, on this show, we try to introduce our listeners to the various organizations and people in our community who are doing great things.
Yes, sir.
That we really don't even know that it's happening. We just know that good things are happening. We see people being helped and being blessed, and we don't really know the faces and the names behind it.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we want to do by bringing you in. But before we talk about some of your initiatives, let us just kind of know who Jarrell Craig is. You born and raised here?
Yes, sir. Born and raised in Vidalia, Georgia. 2013 graduate from Vidalia High School. Went on to Georgia Southern. Got an exercise.
Go Dogs.
Yeah, yes, sir. I'm sorry. We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Went on to Georgia Southern. Got an exercise science degree from over there. Also walked on. Was able to play football for a few years. Now I'm back here in town working at Spivey Orthopedic Clinic. Working to pursue a career in a physician's assistant.
Wow. So you left this area, went over to Georgia Southern.
Yes, sir.
And actually walked on the football team.
Yes, sir. It's very rewarding experience, very challenging. And I'm always looking for ways to just give back and give advice to kids who also want to make it to the next level and be able to continue playing sports after high school.
So it can be done.
Yes, sir. It definitely can be done. Just got to put your mind to it, work hard, and stay focused for sure.
So to walk on to the football team, what was that experience like? You would think that, especially with it being a D1 program, there wouldn't be a whole lot of opportunity for a person to walk on and actually make it.
So it was very, very nerve-wracking because a lot of people will reach out to the schools before, tell the coaches they're coming. I actually signed up the day before, right before closing.
Oh, wow.
And then we had the tryout camp. We ran sprints, ran drills and things like that. And then I always tell everybody it was a blessing for sure because in the middle of our tryout, they actually canceled it because of a storm, and they picked 5 kids to get picked for the walk-on, and I was one of those 5 kids. I was short of even a mini trial camp.
Look at there, man.
It's definitely a blessing for sure.
Good. Did you ever get to play?
I did get to play, and we played against Savannah State, and then they let some of the younger guys get in and get some reps, so I was able to fulfill that dream of playing. Wish I could have played more, but God always has other plans, but I was grateful for the experience I did have while I was there.
All right. You seem to be fairly accomplished. You're a young man. but you're doing some big things. You're on the Umpire Association.
Yes, sir. So I also, to help continue to give back to sports in surrounding counties, I'm a Georgia High School sports official, and I'm on the board of the Southern Eagle Baseball and Softball Association out of Statesboro. I've been a member of the association for the past 5 years and on the board for the past 2.
Pretty active in your church as well, I see.
Yes, sir. I was elected to be a steward board member, serving the needs of the church and the pastor in whatever capacity they need. Born and raised, grew up at St. Paul AME Church here in Vidalia, Georgia, where Reverend Ronald Miller is our pastor.
Wow. I'm just looking at all of this. Your resume. You're a musician. You play an instrument.
Yes, sir. I started growing up playing the piano. I always wanted to play a guitar, so when I got old enough, I got my dad to get me a guitar, and then I've taught myself a bunch, actually a lot over the past few years, learning each day.
Yeah. So you asked your dad to go ahead and drop the dollars and get the guitar.
We went half on it.
Okay.
He said he wasn't gonna make me pay for all of it. So he said since you did the piano like we wanted. I'll help you out and let you practice on the guitar now since that part's over.
That's good stuff.
Yes, sir.
I'm always intrigued about those persons who leave our community, they come back to our community, and then give of themselves, their time, and roll up their sleeves and really active in the community. Where does that come from? What is your drive? What is your passion?
This is home, and I love it here. This is my city. I'm from Vidalia, and I love Vidalia and the surrounding counties. And my parents grew up watching them serve. My mom and dad were very active in the community, and now that I'm old enough and able, I feel like it's my turn to give back and serve my community as best as I can. And that's why I've decided to run for the school board in Vidalia for the upcoming school board election there, so I can keep continuing to serve and give my community the best of myself.
Well, let's talk about your position as president of Community Men in Action.
Yes, sir.
There, as the president of Community Men in Action, you were elected president. Did you have to run against somebody?
No, sir.
Or they just select you based off of your work?
Yes, sir. It's usually just kind of internal selection based off of members who they feel would be a good representative of the Community in Action and a good leader moving forward for the program.
Okay, so then what it says then is you must have been pretty active and engaged in this.
Yes, sir. And I do my best whenever we have the community events, volunteer events with the community cleanup. We had, I think it was last fall, when we had the community cleanup, and then with the back-to-school drives we've done these past couple of years. And even during the COVID-19 pandemic, we would have kind of informative sessions where we'd bring in other medical providers or either teachers and things, just talk about ways they've been adjusting and kind of going through the COVID-19 process, because it was, it was a windstorm for everybody, and just trying to give a sense of confidence and that, we can make it through if we just stick together and just take care of each other.
Excellent. In terms of your philanthropy, I know that you're working with the Spivey Clinic, is it?
Yes, sir.
And I know Dr. Spivey does a lot in the community.
Yes, sir. He actually donated to help renovate and restructure our library in Vidalia. Yes, sir. And it's been going very well.
It is a beautiful project.
Yes, sir,
as well.
It is. Yes, sir.
Now, were you a part of that at all?
No, sir. That was all his doing and all that. I'm just thankful that he cares enough about the community to, one, have his service in his business here, and to give back and try to influence kids moving forward, that they can have the opportunities and the resources necessary to be better for themselves.
Okay, excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to Mr. Jarrell Craig. He is the newly elected president of the Community Men in Action. Community Men in Action has been in existence for how long?
I want to say a little over 5 years, 5 or 6 years now. Getting involved, doing as much as we can, like I said, wherever we can in the community, whether it's Lyons, Vidalia, Montgomery. We just try to see what needs need to be served, and if we're able, we get together in conjunction with other organizations also, and try to help as much as we can, however we can.
How many members do you currently have?
Right now, we're sitting at around 20 or so members. Always looking for more active, willing people to come in, serve, and help continue have this thing grow and reach as many people as we can.
Now, it's called Community Men in Action.
Yes, sir.
So, as I read into that, is it just a male organization, or are women available to be members?
So we are primarily male organization, but we can use help wherever we can. So I'm sure we wouldn't turn down any females that wanted to get in and join, and help serve the community, because it's all about the community. However we can help. So no gender doesn't matter in that sense. It's about whether your heart's there, ready to give and support the people that need help.
You've been a part of the organization now since 2019.
Yes, sir.
So that's about 4 years. Who invited you, or how did you end up as a part of it?
I actually didn't know I was joining the first time I went. My dad said, I'm going to a meeting. You should come and join me. So I went with him, and then next thing you know, I got involved, and I saw what they were about and what they were doing, and I was like, that would be an excellent way for me to get started, because around that time I had just gotten back from an internship in Lithonia as part of finishing up my graduation in Georgia Southern. So getting back involved, that was a great intro into getting my service started back in the community.
You came back to the community and hit the ground running.
Yes, sir. That's it.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we're talking with Mr. Jarrell Craig. He's the newly elected president of Community Men in Action. I want to take a break right here, but after we come back from the break, I want to kind of get into some of the initiatives of the Community Men in Action, and let's see what are some of the things that you have going on, and some of the things that we can expect in the upcoming future. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back right after these messages.
We don't need a calendar to tell us that summer is here. Just go outside and you'll know it's getting hot, hot, hot. This is Anthony J. with Todd Padgett Housing Center, and we're inviting you to beat the heat in one of our beautiful homes from Southern Energy Homes, Cavalier, Clayton, Deer Valley, Live Oak, or Scott Built. We build all of our homes a lot more energy efficient than they would have normally come. So stop by Todd Padgett Housing Center in Claxton, Georgia, and pick out your energy savings dream home from our massive selection. Todd Padgett Housing Center, all of your housing solutions under one roof.
Smarter, not harder. Here at Vidalia Federal, we are all about that phrase as we strive to make your life easier. No more drowning in paperwork or being interrogated over the idea of buying a house. Getting a home loan should be an enjoyable, simple process, not a daunting task. This is Julia McKenzie with Vidalia Federal Savings Bank, and I am here to make the mortgage process easy and simple. Come see me at the Vidalia branch on Jackson Street to talk about your next home purchase or refinance.
Welcome back to this edition of Community Matters. I'm your host, The Doc, and we are here for another great Community Matters show. And we have in the studio with us, we've been talking with the one and the only, the debonair himself, Mr. Jarrell Craig.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You came in, you were a little tight, tense, nervous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Relaxed a little bit now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I think the weight's been lifted. The nerves are kind of out. It's kind of like with anything. Once you're nervous before you get started. Once you get in it, get going, everything kind of settles.
Kind of good
out.
to go.
Yes, sir.
We've been talking about Community Men in Action. It is a service organization that not many people know about, but you've actually been in existence for quite some time.
Yes, sir. We've been around for several years now, just serving and seeing the need in the community. We have a few scholarship programs for the Montgomery, Toombs, and the Vidalia school systems, where students have applications they can fill out from their counselors, and they're reviewed, and we try to reward at least 3 students from each school. With their scholarship to help them pay for books and things moving forward.
So how much are those scholarships when you give them out?
They're usually, so it can vary depending on how many applicants we have. Fewer applicants, we're able to give more money. More applicants, we kind of spread. But we try to give at least, I want to say this past year we gave around $500 to each scholarship that we were able to give out at least. Yes, sir.
That's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
And you give a scholarship to each one of the public school systems in the area?
Yes, sir. Montgomery, Toombs, and Vidalia. Yes, sir.
And you give away at least one?
We do top 3. It'll be top 3 from each school. So top 3 candidates from Vidalia, top 3 candidates from Toombs, and then the top 3 candidates from Montgomery County.
So that's 9 scholarships.
Yes, sir. Based off of how many we receive. Now, if we don't
wow.
receive, that many,
Right.
then of course, the selections are a bit smaller. But yeah, we take as many scholarships as we can, and then go through them and see the kids who kind of does not really, I don't want to say necessarily deserve, but kind of use the most help, and then are willing. A lot of the big basis is kids willing to come back and serve the community also.
Wow.
If they're willing, going out and they want to come back and serve the community, that's a big plus for us, as we are community men in action.
Yeah.
Now, we always want kids to go out, be great, do the things that makes them benefit, but the kids that can come back and build our community and give back to the next generation is kind of what we're really looking for.
I like that. That's good. So that's your scholarship, and that's a huge undertaking to be able to give away
Yes, sir.
approximately 9 scholarships.
Yes, sir.
Wasn't really expecting that, but what other things do you do?
Also, we are sponsoring the Young Gentlemen's Club, which is going on here locally through the middle and elementary school. We have around 45 students.
Oh, wow.
Yes, sir. And then what they do is kind of a mentorship program, showing them how to dress for interviews, dress for work, and just how to carry yourself as a young professional, young man, just growing up in a smaller town, and then just being ready to take that information and continue to grow in the high school, which is our next target area to have the program follow from elementary school up into high school. And I'm excited to see how that's growing, and eventually one day we'll have a cohort that has gone from the elementary all the way through the high school program.
Oh,
and
wow.
Be able to follow that journey as well.
Well, it's called the Young Gentlemen, right?
Young Gentlemen's Club, yes, sir.
I'm familiar with that
sir.
organization. I've actually, if you can believe it or not, they called the doc and asked him to come in and speak to these young men, but
Yes,
I
sir.
did not know that it was a component of the Community Men in Action.
Yes, sir. It was actually headed by our previous president, Mr. Michael Johnson, who's
Okay,
one
yes.
of the administrators in our school system. And that was his baby. That was his dream and his goal. And I'm just excited to see how much it's grown and how it's going to continue to grow, because we're getting a lot of positive feedback from the community. Parents and kids involved seem to really enjoy it. So that's always our drive, to keep going and just see how far we can take this thing, and eventually hope to spread it to other communities and school systems as well.
Well, Mr. Johnson was the one who called me and asked me to be a part of it, and we actually had him on the show,
Okay.
but he never really said that this is a component of Community Men in Action.
One of the most humble guys I know. So
Yeah.
that sounds
Yeah, he is.
sounds just about like
Great
Michael.
guy. All right, so you've got that. Boy, you all are busy. What else are you doing?
So one of our main goals and focuses is the MLK parade that goes on in the community
Right.
each year. We're one of the big proponents of that. This year, our theme is going to be "I Am the Dream."
Okay.
And the Grand Marshal for this year's parade is going to be Chief German of the Vidalia Police Department.
All right, and what was the basis for choosing him?
Just his historical election to being the chief, and just the good work he's done in the city, and just having a familiar face that a lot of people in the community know, and that he is the dream. He is a component of the dream Martin Luther King had, being able to be a police chief in a small town like Vidalia, being one of the first African American chiefs that we've had as well, and just continue to do a good job for the city.
Wow. And this parade has actually gained some traction in the last few years.
Yes, sir. We started the parade. It used to always be down Martin Luther King Avenue.
That's right.
On that side of town. And we actually, want to say last year before last, was the first year we actually got down 280, sharing the same Christmas parade track that they do for the big Christmas parade we have each year down here in
And
town.
had a pretty good crowd.
Yes, sir. Pretty good crowd. We got some good news coverage. WTOC came.
Wow.
We get as many people, different schools from different areas. I know we even had Dublin come down last year, bring their band and participate in our parade. So we're always
wow.
reaching out to all the surrounding communities, people who are willing to just support and just, like I said, just give back. That's what it's all about. Just giving on to the next generation, just passing that torch to keep the flame burning.
There's a lot to do, huh?
Yes, sir. Always work to be done for sure.
Well, we appreciate it. We thank you. Any other things coming up that you all are working on? If one wanted to be a part of the organization, how would they go about it?
If one wanted to be a part of the organization, then you could reach us at communitymeninaction@yahoo.com, and then we'd get your contact information, get you the application, and then once it's filled out, go over it, review it, and hopefully accept our new members and put you to work.
How often is your acceptance process?
There's not really a term. Kind of like with other application processes, is a year-round deal. Now, if you're ready to get in and start working, then we're ready to have you and put you to work.
Do you all take donations, or how does that work? How you give away all of these scholarships? Where does the money come from?
So, yes, sir, we do have we do accept donations from a lot of the places here in town locally, a lot of the businesses, Train, Dot Foods, and other smaller businesses as well. We will be getting to the point here pretty soon as the parade gets closer, asking for more donations.
You have sponsors for the parade, like people can. I'm sure you charge entries for the parade.
Actually, there is no entry fee for the parade. No, sir.
Okay, that's our buzzword here on this show. We
Yes,
we
sir.
like that word free.
Yes, sir. It's free
On
entry.
this show, we love the word free.
Free entry for the parade just gives everybody
Wow.
a chance to promote your business and just be active and be involved and be seen in the community.
Unbelievable.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I see
That's-
you just as humble as Mr. Johnson. You should have led with, "Hey, this is free, everybody."
Oh, just the kickers, just see who wants to do it first, and then that's the benefit.
And then you
from
come
it.
back and,
Yes,
all
sir.
right, I
by the
got it.
way,
I like that.
you don't have to pay anything for it. So we're just happy to have you join us. And we also the community in action. We do have a Cash App set up for any donations in that sense, and you can CMIA 912 on Cash App for that. as
Excellent,
well. Yes, sir.
excellent. CMIA
912.
912.
Yes, sir.
And that's your Cash App to receive donations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wow. Well, again, we want to thank you for your commitment.
Thank you for having me.
It's rare that we find young men, young women who go and improve themselves and do better, and then come back to the community
Yes,
and
sir.
give back. And so, when we find that, we would like to highlight it to really give an example to other students and people who are listening to say, hey, this is how we make our community better.
Yes, sir. It's all about, this is home, and it's only going to be as good as we're able to make it. So we need to do as best we can, give as much of ourselves to help that happen.
Very well said. Again, thank you and the entire Community Men in Action organization
Really
for all
appreciate
the
it.
work that you are doing.
Yes, sir.
Continue to do the great work. We want to thank Ms. Dorothy Davis for making sure that we have this show archived on our website. You can go there to tcbbroadcasting.com. That's tcbbroadcasting.com. You can go in and you can see what the young debonair himself looks like. Please go to our website, tcbbroadcasting.com, and you can see Mr. Jarrell Craig there. Also, we want to thank our boss, the one and the only, Miss Robin Crabb, for all that she does. And we thank you. Thank you for listening and always being a part of the community of our great show, Community Matters. I'm your host, The Doc. Come back again on next week. We'll have another great show for you. I look forward to it. Until then, everyone take care and God bless.
You've been listening to Community Matters with host Tony Doc Wardlaw, sponsored by Todd Paget Housing Center in Claxton and by Vidalia Federal in Lyons and Vidalia. Tune in again next week to see what is happening in our community on Community Matters, a service of TCB Broadcasting.